Well, good afternoon. It is Sunday, September, I think it's the 25th today. I've lost track of time. Um, I've just had a lot going on. The school year has started for me. I have taken a 5-day trip to Phoenix, and now I have a sinus infection and an ear infection. So it's a lot, and I think I'm just pushing myself too hard, but I'm feeling really bad that I have not been on and done any videos. So this video today is for the folks that ordered the Zeptember Cardz to go. And if you're catching on to the cleverness of my title, this kit has all cards that are folded in a Z-shaped pattern. So let me show you what your kit is going to include. So the first thing you're going to want to notice in your kit is that these are sample cards, and each one is made on just some retired purple paper, and they're for you to keep and for you to use anytime you want to make a Z fold card. So each card you can see is a Z fold. Let me get some of this other stuff out of the view of the camera. Each card is a Z fold, and each sample comes with the dimensions already written on for you for when you want to make another one. Some of the dimensions are on the back and some are on the front. Okay, so you'll get 4 different Z fold cards. And each one is going to have the dimensions written on it. Okay, that's the second one. Here's the third one. This one is actually a little more than a Z. This one I could call a W card, couldn't I? Or a double Z. You'll notice that when you get to this card in your pack, I actually did mine this way, and either way is fine. You could even make it open this way if you wanted to. So. And then the last one is kind of an easel card, but definitely a Z. Okay, so this one can stand up. All right, so in the rest of your kit, you will find an assortment of 6x6 Halloween paper. All of the backs are black and white, which is kind of fun. You will be using some of this, but not all of it. So you'll have plenty left over for more cards. You will also get 1.5 yards of the checked ribbon, and this ribbon can be colored with your alcohol blends. There's an assortment of the self-adhesive stars and some of the die cuts that you will need to assemble the cards. Your kit also contains the cutest Halloween stamp set. You will have I think 2 pieces of white cardstock that you can use for stamping. And then you will have the cardstock that you need for each card. So all you will have to do is score your cardstock and cut your designer series paper, and then of course you'll have to stamp. So let's go over each card. I can't remember right now the order that I put them on the directions, but I think they're pretty identifiable. So this is the one that your pattern actually looks like the card will open this way, but I am opening mine this way. So for this card, you will take the black cardstock, and you will score it as shown on your pattern. You will cut, you will also cut the Calypso Coral cardstock and score it, or you will just score it. This one's already cut for you. And then all of the DSP is cut 1/4 of an inch smaller than the piece that it will be adhered onto. And you can use any combination that you like, or you can copy mine. Hey Boo is stamped right onto this 3x3 white cardstock. The ghost is stamped, and then he is adhered with a dimensional. So you're going to want to pop him up. And then Have a Fabulous Halloween, I stamped, and then I cut it apart. You'll see that on the stamp, it's one straight line. I cut it apart. I believe we call this ransom style. So just gives it a little bit of interest. And then this bat I cut from the Designer Series paper, and I popped him up right on top of a different bat. Depending on how you cut this paper to the 3 1/4 by 3 1/4, you can decide which character you want to pop up. You could pop them all up if you wanted to. And then I added a few self-adhesive stars. Tied the ribbon around the edge, just around this one piece though. Don't tie it around more than one, or your card won't open. And this one just looks so cute when it's standing up on a mantle or a bookshelf. And remember, you can do it this way also. Okay, that is the first card. The second card I will explain is the one that's going to be kind of like an easel when it's done. Okay, this one also, you're going to score the larger pumpkin pie paper down the middle, and then the thinner one you're going to score twice, and those directions are on your purple sample. So follow the dimensions of your purple samples. The DSP will be cut again 1/4 inch smaller. And again, you can use any pattern that you want. The die cut is in your bag. You're going to stamp Trick or Treat or whatever sentiment you want from the Cutest Halloween stamp set. I added some self-adhesive stars, and I also stamped a ghost on my white Whisper White or basic white paper, cut that out, and then I adhered him to the back. I also took my bone folder and kind of curled him a little bit, or your finger works too, so that when the card stands up, he also pops up like that. Tie the ribbon around just the front panel after you've adhered the DSP. Okay. As always, don't forget to stamp or sign the back of your card. And then at some point, you're going to want to stamp a greeting on the inside. Okay, that's the second one. The third card that you're going to be making, or the one that I'm going to be showing you, I want you to make note that for this one, you're going to want to use, or I used, matching DSP. So this piece was one piece, and then I cut it down the middle. So you can tell how this matches here and this matches. So especially if you're using one of the other patterns that have a more distinct pattern, you want them to match. The most confusing part about this card is this front panel. So be sure that this front panel is adhered to, let's see, adhesive on the left side so that the back side is free, okay? This part flaps, I guess. The idea is that when the card is open, it all matches up. So if you wanted to, some people have actually added, you know, a bigger strip of the DSP here, or they've covered the back of this, but I just left it the way I had found the directions. So you're going to take your designer series paper and cut it into 3 panels, and those sizes are printed on your sample. Anytime you see DSP, that means designer series paper. That means it's the pattern paper, the pretty paper. Okay, so you have those dimensions on your sample card. After you've adhered those 3 panels, then you can go ahead and make a banner using one of the other designs. I stamped 3 pumpkins on my basic white paper, added the faces. You'll notice that there is on the stamp set, there is the outline and the fill-in. So practice a little bit on your scrap paper and make sure that you get the color the way you want it. The fill-in part is supposed to look kind of, I would say muted. So practice that a little bit. I also colored in the stem with a green. I tied the bow around the banner before I adhered it to the background piece. I also added a few stars just for a little sparkle. This Highland Heather tag is in your bag. I stamped spiders, and what I did was I stamped off so it's not as black as it could be. Stamping off means that you're gonna put your spider into the ink pad and then stamp it off on a piece of scratch paper, and then use the second step of black ink. Most of the black ink has been removed. I also did this one ransom style, so you'll see how on the stamp set it would stamp as one piece, which would be just fine. I chose to cut them out separately, and then I adhered them with dimensionals, which you will have to cut so your dimensionals are a little bit smaller. And then I stamped a spider and just drew the web line with a fine point black marker. Okay. And the last card you'll be making is this one, or the last one I'm showing you. This one is just kind of a 3-fold with this fun add-on banner in the front. Okay, so again, all of the dimensions are on your sample card. All of the score lines are there. Just follow those and hopefully you'll have no problems. The DSP is 1/4 inch smaller than the base. You can use any configuration of the designer series paper that you want. This white banner is cut from your white pieces of basic white cardstock. The ghosts are stamped and then fussy cut. And one more panel is cut and then stamped with the spider. Tie your ribbon on when you're all done. Oh, and here's one where I colored the ribbon. So this ribbon is the same ribbon that you've seen on all of the other cards. It's black and white. But if you use an alcohol-based marker, you can color the ribbon just by laying it down on a piece of scrap paper and gently rubbing your alcohol blend marker over the ribbon. One time is all it took. You can also cut the ribbon to the length that you want, and you can put it in a bowl with your ink refill. So I don't carry a lot of the ink refills, especially in the specialty colors, and so I just used my blend. But be careful to not ruin the tip of your blend. This will dry pretty quickly, and it will not rub off onto your hands now that it is dry. A regular water-based marker will, and could also make kind of a mess if your card would get wet, I guess. So if you don't have that type of marker or the refills, then the black and white ribbon would be just fine. So having said that, on any of these, if you wanted to color the ribbon orange or I guess pink, maybe green, you could do that on any of these cards. I just chose to do it on the one. So there also is a punch available that coordinates with the paper in your kit. So if you decide that you don't like fussy cutting, this punch is available. Let me know if you're interested in that, and I can hook you up with the punch. So when you are done, you will have 8 Z-fold cards plus your sample, and you will have your samples, and then you will have leftover stars. You will have leftover designer series paper, and you will have, I believe, leftover ribbon. So you can make more if you'd like. You'll also always have this stamp set. So I hope that helps you. Please reach out if you need more help in assembling your Zeptember Z-fold cards. Thanks for listening, and like this video if you enjoyed it. Share it with your friends who might be interested in learning more about card making, and tune in next time. Thank you.